my dog. He's out teach my team. I don't have a right to kick back when you talk about it. We don't start shit, but keep shit real when you put shit out on the internet. So some of my energies.
Kenny Ellis has finally broken his silence about the issues between Calvin Ford and Gerald Davis. As Calvin Ford's assistant, Ellis is known for being the more outspoken coach in Gervonta Davis' corner. Unlike Ford, who is known for his articulate and measured responses during interviews and press conferences, Ellis is often seen on social media, engaging in trolling, pranks, and throwing verbal jabs. However, this time, the usually playful Ellis finds himself at the center of a serious controversy involving Gervonta Davis and Calvin Ford, making it clear that pranks are off the table.
You know? I don't start shit, you know, but I do, you know, I recognize bullshit when I see it and hear it. I let it be known.
Discussing the recent split between the fighter and his trainer, Kenny Ellis, who exercised considerable caution to remain unbiased and avoid offending either of his two friends, revealed that a significant debt issue has been brewing between Ford and Gervonta Davis since some of his previous fights. Ellis clarified that it's not that Davis doesn't pay his trainers at all. He does, but not completely. This issue has typically been kept under wraps, with the expectation that Davis would eventually settle the debts. However, tensions escalated when a dispute arose between Ford and Gervonta over Floyd Mayweather. During this heated exchange, Davis threatened to fire Ford and declared he wouldn't leave without his debt being paid in full. According to Ellis, this confrontation was the breaking point for Gervonta, leading him to react rashly. He immediately fired Calvin Ford and vowed never to pay the remaining debt.
Came from there, but man, was I wrong? You know, I heard Shakur whip Tank ass since they were little.
As Gervonta Davis prepares for a pivotal fight less than 2 months away, an unexpected legal battle with his former trainer, Calvin Ford, threatens to overshadow his training. Calvin Ford, having brought in his lawyers, has set the stage for what promises to be a heated legal dispute, one that Davis can ill afford during such a critical time in his career. This incident comes on the heels of an alleged debt issue between Ford and Davis, one that has been simmering since several of Davis's previous fights. Kenny Ellis, Calvin Ford's assistant and the more outspoken coach in Davis's corner, recently shed light on the underlying financial tensions. According to Ellis, Davis has been inconsistent in paying his trainers. While he does make payments, they are often incomplete, leading to mounting frustrations. This issue, typically kept under wraps, exploded when Davis threatened to fire Ford unless his debts were fully paid. The situation became untenable, leading Davis to dismiss Ford and swear off settling the remaining debts. This isn't the first time Davis has faced significant legal challenges close to a fight date. In fact, he has a history of legal entanglements that have threatened his boxing career. Notably, Davis found himself in legal trouble following an overnight arrest in South Florida just weeks before a scheduled fight. The 28-year-old boxing star was taken into custody on allegations of domestic violence, complicating his preparations for an upcoming bout against Hector Luis Garcia on January 7, 2023. The arrest in South Florida was for a single count of battery causing bodily harm. The incident, which took place in Parkland, Florida, saw Davis detained in Broward County. Specific details about the incident were initially scarce, and both Showtime and Premier Boxing Champions remained silent on how this might affect the scheduled fight. Davis, who was awaiting a bond hearing, faced significant uncertainty as the fight approached. This incident continued a troubling trend for Davis, who has faced numerous legal problems over the years. In February 2020, Davis was scheduled to appear in circuit court in Baltimore for an alleged hit-and-run incident from November 2020. In that case, Davis faced 14 charges and a civil suit after being accused of fleeing the scene of an accident involving 4 people, including a pregnant woman. If convicted, he could have faced jail time. His legal team's attempt to secure a plea deal was rejected by a Baltimore Circuit Court judge. In another incident, Davis pled guilty to a simple battery domestic violence charge in 2020. The charge stemmed from an altercation at a charity basketball game where Davis was filmed forcefully grabbing the mother of his daughter by the neck. Earlier, in 2018, he was arrested for disorderly conduct following a fight outside a Washington, D.C. bar, and in 2017, assault charges against him were dropped after he was accused of punching a friend in Baltimore. Following his arrest in Florida, Davis spent the night in custody while awaiting a bond hearing. This arrest put his upcoming fight in jeopardy, especially after being charged with domestic violence. The woman involved in the incident later retracted her statement, saying Davis did not harm her or their family, claiming she had made an unnecessary call to the police during a moment of panic. Despite this retraction, Davis still faced legal scrutiny. Davis pleaded not guilty to the charges, which included hitting the mother of his one-year-old daughter with a closed-hand slap, resulting in a small abrasion on her lip. The prosecutor charged that the battery was committed in the presence of a child under 16, escalating the seriousness of the offense. The woman eventually asked the court to dismiss the charges, stating she did not wish to testify. The court modified Davis's pre-trial release conditions, allowing limited contact with the woman for child-related matters and therapy sessions. Despite these legal challenges, Davis's fight against Hector Luis Garcia proceeded as planned. On fight night, Davis defended his World Boxing Association World Lightweight Championship by technical knockout in the 8th round, improving his record to 28-0 with 26 knockouts. This victory demonstrated Davis's ability to compartmentalize and perform under pressure, even with significant personal and legal distractions. The current legal dispute with Calvin Ford represents another significant hurdle for Davis. The timing couldn't be worse, as Davis is deep into preparations for an upcoming fight. This conflict, rooted in unresolved financial disagreements, has escalated quickly. Ford, with his lawyers, is seeking to resolve the debt issue through legal means, adding another layer of stress for Davis. In response to the escalating situation, Davis has had to adjust his training regimen. The legal dispute with Ford has forced him to focus more on defense and endurance, areas he might have previously overlooked. This change is critical, as his opponents and critics alike watch to see how he handles the dual pressures of legal battles and rigorous fight preparations. Davis's career trajectory has been marred by these recurring legal issues. Each incident chips away at his public image and raises questions about his focus and discipline. While his in-ring performances remain stellar, the external distractions threaten to overshadow his accomplishments. As he navigates these challenges, the need for a strong support system and effective legal counsel becomes increasingly apparent. The media's role in shaping public perception of Davis cannot be understated. Each legal incident is heavily scrutinized, with pundits and fans debating his ability to stay out of trouble. This constant spotlight can be both motivating and demoralizing for an athlete. For Davis, maintaining a positive public image while handling personal issues is crucial for his brand and career longevity. As Davis looks to the future, the lessons from his legal troubles are clear. Establishing clear boundaries, managing finances,